Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into my channel today and welcome back. So today I'll be answering the question, how can I tell if I am in an abusive relationship? But before I answer this question, I will quickly run through different kinds and different types of abuse and their impact, their effects. Domestic abuse, also called domestic violence or intimate partner violence, can be defined as a pattern of control or behavior that can be used to maintain control and power over an intimate partner, a family member, or even a loved one. Abuse can take the following forms. Physical abuse. Physical abuse is the intentional use of force to control or to harm someone. You can tell if somebody is actually going through physical abuse sometimes by seeing marks on their body, by hitting them, by slapping them, by physically restraining them. The effects of these physical injuries, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, living in fear, chronic pain, and the loss of trust where that partner is. The second form of abuse is emotional or psychological abuse. And this kind of abuse happens when somebody is intentionally using hurtful words, using words or actions to manipulate or devalue someone. And this can take the form of gaslighting, humiliation, constant criticism, and sometimes isolation. And the impact of this is low self-esteem, anxiety, difficulty forming a relationship, and sometimes depression. The third abuse is sexual abuse. Any non-consensual sexual act or behavior. This can come in the form of rape, sexual coercion, and unwanted touching. So the impact of this on health is guilt, shame, sexual dysfunction, and trauma-related disorders. Fourth abuse is financial abuse. Financial abuse can be defined as controlling or exploiting someone's financial resources. An example of this can be restricting access to money, stealing from the person, and finally, preventing the person from getting employment because you just want the person to be under your control. The impact of this in our daily lives are dependency. You're solely dependent on them. Loss of financial security. You no longer feel secure because you're always dependent on asking them for every penny. And this will mean you become so vulnerable because whatever you want to do, you're dependent on him or her to give you money. So increased vulnerability. The fifth kind of abuse is verbal abuse. Definition of this is where somebody uses words to demean another person, to put you down, to make you feel as though you're worthless, or to use those words to control you. Full of these are name calling, threats, and yelling. The impact of this is loss of self-confidence, emotional instability, and stress. Another form of abuse, number 6, is neglect. Failure to meet the needs of those dependent on you. Example of this could be withholding food, shelter, or even taking the person to hospital when they need that medical attention. The impact of this is emotional distress. If it has to do with children, it can actually impact their developmental stages and also physical illness. The next form of abuse, which is the seventh one, is digital abuse. Digital abuse can be defined using technology to harass, manipulate, or monitor someone. An example of this we see daily is cyberbullying. People can stalk you online, and people can also share private information about you online. Say, for example, you've fallen out with someone and there's something you've done with them behind closed doors. And what will they do? They air it. They bring it out to the public just to do what? Just to make you feel ashamed of yourself. Now, the impact of this in our daily lives are anxiety, loss of privacy, and the most painful part of it is reputational damage. How do I know if I am in an abusive relationship? I know it's difficult sometimes to ascertain if you're in an abusive relationship, especially when the person is smart and they start making you feel as though you no longer know what you're doing, or trust yourself. But this is how you could tell that something is not right. One, does your partner make you feel very embarrassed or make fun of you in the presence of his friends or your friends? Does he bring down or put down your accomplishment, making them feel as if they are worth nothing, but always praising himself and how good he is? Do they tell you that you're nothing or worth nothing without them? Do they treat you roughly, grab you, push you, shove you, and ask you to get out of the way for them? Do they call you several times a night just to make sure that where you said to them you're going, that is where you are? Or do they just suddenly come to check in on you whether you are actually where you said you're going to be? Do they blame you for how they feel or how they act? Do they come back and give you excuses? I'm sorry I did that. I was drunk. You made me angry. If I wasn't angry, I wouldn't have done that. Do they prevent you from doing the things that you would like to do? Except you get permission from them, except it's something they sanctions. That's the only time you do it. Do you go ahead and buy some clothes that you like and he turns around or she turns around and said, no, I don't like such clothes. I don't like you wearing such things. Why would you wear something like that? It's because you don't trust me, because you don't respect me. If you respect me, you won't be wearing what I've asked you not to wear. Do they make you feel that there is no way out of the relationship, that you are their only option? Do they try to keep you from leaving after a fight? Or even sometimes you see people, they get angry, they stop the car and ask you to get out so that you can walk back home just to teach you a lesson? Do you sometimes feel scared in your relationship and worried that something may happen to you? Do you constantly make excuses for your partner's behavior to other people and tell them, oh, he's tired, he's working so hard and all that? Do you think that you can help your partner change only when you've changed yourself? Are you presently with your partner because you're so worried about what he will do if you break that relationship, if you decide to leave? Do you find yourself always doing what your partner wants you to do, not what you want to do? You do all these things because you want to make them happy. If all these things are happening to you, chances are you are in an abusive relationship. What can you do about it? You could try sending this video to your partner, or if you're living together, get him to watch this video with you, or get her to watch this video with you. Because the truth is, abuse can happen either way. It could be the woman abusing, it could be the man abusing. Now, after watching this video, see what he or she says and listen to them. Sometimes, to be fair, some people may not even understand they're abusing their partner or their loved ones. It could be how they've grown up, it could be how they've been trained, it could be their lifestyle. So when these things are happening, they might not even be conscious of it. So watching the video could make the person think, so this is not a normal behavior. I shouldn't be behaving like this. Now, when they think about such things, there's a chance they will start making adjustment to change, and genuinely they will apologize to their partner to say, I didn't really understand that I am doing this. So looking inward and trying to find out the things that they are doing that are wrong and working towards it. So both of you can work towards it and try to make yourselves better people. But if you present this video, one, he or she is dismissive, I am not like that, I don't want to watch it. Or maybe they've seen it with you and they're telling you that, what are they talking about? This is all rubbish. Trying to downplay what they are doing. It's not that bad. I love you. When they start downplaying it and start instead gaslighting, making you feel as though you don't know what you're talking about, or what you've seen in the video is not real, that is another huge red flag for you. You have to decide whether you want to stay in the relationship or you want to walk out of that relationship. Because at the end of the day, what matters is your sanity and your mental health. And that is what this channel is bringing to the limelight. This next video will help you identify other forms abuse can take. Thank you for watching today. As always, God's blessings.